Okay, so let's take a look at sample problem 2 here. If you notice up above sample problem 2, what I've done is I've kind of given you a little checklist or a little process to follow initially as you're kind of getting accustomed to the ambiguous case, looking for multiple solutions or no solutions while using the law of signs. Now, I don't expect you to memorize this process. What I'm hoping is that through a few practice tries with this process in front of you, combined with the reference table that I gave you on the prior page of notes, that you'll start to just kind of understand these things about the law of signs, and that you won't have to really think about these anymore. It'll just come naturally to you. So it's just a little bit of guidance as you're learning to use this. Now, if you notice, the very first step suggested is just to solve the triangle. Just use law of signs as it is and come up with your first triangle, your first solution, and then proceed from there after the first triangle is solved. So that's what we're going to do. Simply in sample problem 2, we can see that we have angle A, side C, and angle C. Now, when we get into the law of cosines in later lesson, if you're having trouble remembering when to use law of sines and when to use law of cosines, I suggest the simplest thing to do is to actually just draw this triangle, see what you have, and see what parts it fits in. Does it fit in the law of sines, or does it fit in the law of cosines? And that'll make more sense when we get the law of cosines. The other thing that I'm going to recommend is try to draw the triangle as you think it would look based off of the given angle. Now, sometimes I just draw a generic ABC triangle. It's supposed to be obtuse, and I draw acute, and it doesn't look correct. And that's just to give myself a visual. But it may help you to actually draw this as it should look. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to draw the given triangle according to what I think it should look like. Okay. And you can see that I've drawn this triangle, and I've marked the given triangle in red with the given information, and I've marked the parts in blue that we will be looking for to solve triangle ABC. Now, first thing that's important is that you label this triangle correctly. Angle C is 100, so side C should be across from angle C. Same thing with angle B and side B, and angle A and side A. Now, right off the bat, without even going into any mathematics, you should start to kind of smell a rat here. First things first, if 100 degrees is going to be the largest angle in the triangle, the side opposite has to be the largest side according to geometry properties. So we can see here that that has a side length of 1 and the other one has a side length of 2, so that doesn't exactly match up to begin with, and we could probably figure out right here that we're going to have some problems. But I'm just going to go ahead and show you what happens mathematically in relation with this. Let's say that I'm looking for angle A. I have angle C and side C that makes up one given ratio. I have side A. I'm going to look for angle A. And so this is what the law of sines would look like. I have a full proportion, a full ratio with sine of 100 over 1. And I'm just going to go ahead and solve this proportion through cross multiplication. Okay, so at this point, I know that the measure of angle A is going to be the inverse of 2 times the sine of 100. So let's go ahead and put that into our calculator. So you can see here, we actually get an error. We get a domain error, basically saying to us that this isn't a real possibility. So what that's trying to tell us, and what you probably figured out by looking at the triangle, is that the triangle actually here doesn't exist. So really there's no solution. Or you could say that no triangle. Another possibility, you could say that no triangle exists. And I would take either one of those as a valid answer. So here's the first possibility that you could get when trying to solve triangles.